Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about some interesting newsy stuff, including 2.6.3, 3.0, both big patches. Well, I suppose one's a big patch, the other's a tiny little hotty-fixy patch, and some other bits and pieces that Erin Roberts said too. So patch 2.6.3 is out to the PTU. This is kind of a surprise hotfix patch, fixing some bugs and increasing performance, focusing more specifically on game crashes and Star Marine performance. Expect more fixes as well before that patch goes live, hopefully having pips for ship combat entirely fixed too. It's available to everyone on the PTU now, and it's going to be going live, I assume, very shortly to a live build. I have a sneaking suspicion that we might see a Cutlass in the live build too, though that is more hope than even speculation. 146 million is been raised in funding for Star Citizen and Squadron 42 now. They've just raised above that. I suspect we might even see 150 million raised by the end of May with the upcoming sales of the Banu Defender, the Aegis Eclipse, and the 600 series over the next few months. This is a landmark figure for most crowdfunding thing of all time. Star Citizen is the most crowdfunded thing of all time. I can't even say those words. But remember, everything is obtainable in-game. When they talk about like these ships being used to fund the game and that sort of stuff, you only need a $45 game package and you can get everything in-game. I will get guides up for that very purpose when we have more of a game to play. So suspect when we have a 2.7 or a 3.0 patch, we'll start to get those guides coming in where we go, well, just get a starter package, and then you can play everything, can get all these ships anyway, and subscribers and stuff can get extra ships to test and stuff as well. So we'll talk about that at a later date. 3.0 on the schedule report soon. So Erin Roberts confirmed that the 3.0 or next major patch schedule report will go live very soon over at robertspaceindustries.com schedule-report. I personally would expect by next Friday that we should have something, but don't hold me to that. Could be sooner, could be a little bit later. Bad News Baron was joined by some devs, including Erin Roberts, on his stream, and they discussed some interesting game info as well. They confirmed that the Banu concept ship is called the Defender, rather than just being a Defender ship. It is the Banu Defender, and we should be seeing more about the Banu and the Merchantman soon too. VR is not being worked on currently, but it is a planned feature for the future. They do plan to support it natively. In 3.0, we will have structures on planets and housing, but players will not be able to place bases in 3.0. They will have a base building feature on planets and housing and that sort of stuff that players can create and that sort of thing in the future though, and that's quite exciting, but obviously not for the first iterations of 3.0. Cockpit interaction can be simple, but you can also choose to flick switches and turn on certain systems for a more selective, immersive experience. CIG will alter lore for mechanics and new ideas if appropriate. The interaction system, basically the way you manipulate objects by rotating them and that sort of jazz, and switches will be ergonomic, allowing you to interact with multiple items without having to constantly rotate or change your view. The game will have frighteningly good orbital mechanics in regards to travel and orbiting planets and going into the atmosphere and that sort of stuff. Some stations on the outside might be geosynchronous, others might not be. This will make routes and orbits very different every time you do them. Sometimes you do a trade route or a cargo run, it will be a lot easier than other times. Sometimes it will take you through an asteroid field was the example there, whereas other times it will be like a straight pathway straight to the planet from wherever you are. That said, I doubt this will be a complicated process. They're not going to want you to do maths calculations every time you do this, and there's going to be autopilots, there's quantum travel, there's waypoints enabling you to jump in and play as an experience rather than have to do crazy stuff and go, I need to calculate the rotation of the planets and stuff like that. If you are in atmosphere, then you're part of the planet's physics grid, but if you're above that planet, then the planet will be moving and rotating relative to you, if you see what I mean. If you are in a damaged ship with no shields or something, then you might burn up in atmosphere. You have to be careful. There are safe ways of entry. They have no plans for Planetary Bombardment currently, for players to use anyway, but they might in the future. There would have to be gameplay reasons for that, and they would have to increase the range of the weapons. It was mentioned that the Vandal ships may do this in Squadron 42. Currently, regional servers at the moment are there for testing. They are planning to allow a single massive universe at some stage that will allow players to do stuff in a single shard. But at the moment, they need to sort out latency and various regional server issues that they currently have. Also, it probably will remain regional servers for Star Marine and Arena Commander, though that was unconfirmed. Capital ships are progressing with the object container system, new lighting systems, items 2.0. They're all working with capital ships in-game, in-engine at the moment with their internal builds. We will get capital ships ourselves in multiplayer once the network code can support 2 of them fighting with fighter support. And that isn't too far off now. So we've got some exciting stuff happening soon. The schedule report being updated is pretty big, and hopefully will give us a timeline of when we can expect 3.0, or at least the next major Star Citizen patch, giving us some form of planetary landings and big tangible gameplay, as well as lots and lots of other cool stuff. Hopefully that will also include something about Squadron 42. I'd like to see a lot of different things mentioned there. We want to know where the Delta Patcher is on a basis where we can check weekly without having to constantly ask CIG. If they just have a single place to update those systems so we can go, let's check the schedule report to see what the latest is on Spectrum, what the latest is on Delta Patching. Delta Patching is the ability to download much smaller patches which will update everything rather than 30 gigs every time they update. But also I'd like to see where they are on the roadmap, where they see the next few patches going. What is going to be in patch 3.1 now, 3.2, 3.3, all that sort of jazz? Do they plan to have multiple incremental patches between them? That sort of jazz. So I'd like to see that included in the report. I'd also want to see the stats page updated as soon as humanly possible, because as soon as we have those updated stats for ships, we can start to compare them more accurately with a mixture of legacy and the current systems and older and newer systems there at the moment. There was just a mishmash of stats that literally make no sense. But some bits of Star Citizen are moving much faster now, with tools and back-end in place. We should start to see more ships flyable soon, as we saw with the ATV UK recently. They showed off some of the ships, including the Reclaimer. Oh my god, the Reclaimer. As well as we should hopefully see that major release with planetary landings and tangible gameplay coming relatively shortly, not just the schedule report for it. Every month I give away a ship. For April, that is a Drake Buccaneer, to celebrate that ship being flyable in 2.6.2. All you have to do is be subscribed on my channel and comment on any of my videos during the month. I would like to hear what your thoughts are on, do you think there's going to be a 2.7 patch before 3.0 with some of the features? What do you think would be in that? Are you considering getting a Drake Buccaneer or a Cutlass? The Cutlass obviously being reworked, and we should hopefully see that later this evening, or very soon, and hopefully that Cutlass will be in game very soon too. Tell me your thoughts. If you've got questions for any of the devs as well, hopefully we'll start to see more devs on the Redacted podcast, but also I'm going out of my way to ask questions, so give me questions if you've got questions about the game, for me, for devs, all that sort of jazz as well. A huge thank you to my Patreons. Your support helps me continue to create content. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you get some random bonuses, including exclusive videos and random giveaways where I can, as well as help with referrals where possible. Roll some form of VT.
Bored, you look like a fucking egg, but we love you.
So thank you very much, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.